Namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel. This is Daily Global Insights, episode number 251. And a shout out to our viewers to like this program so that it can reach its maximum potential. Today is Wednesday, and here are the main points. Biden addresses the United Nations and says America is no longer at war and will be a global funder of needs. Iranian president taunts President Biden and Trump. In his United Nations address, Xi commits to global order. Biden meeting with EU leaders cancelled due to scheduling issues. India objects to UK on its vaccines being stripped of their list for travel. House proposes debt limit suspension after progressives strip Iron Dome funding. And in global news, Biden, in his address to the United Nations, tells that US is no longer at war and advocates a diplomatic solutions and fund global needs such as climate, COVID-19, and human rights. Sridhar ji, namaskar. Welcome to the show, sir. And your thoughts on the Biden speech yesterday.
Namaskar. Good morning to everybody, and a warm welcome on this Wednesday morning. My thoughts are, I think Mr. Biden reaffirms his global multilateral policy towards the world issues. He was a very brave man, and he made his statement, which is to say that bullets are not the way to go. Diplomacy is the way forward as it relates to all global issues. That was his opening kind of statement. He said, this is a new United States. And we will be helping the world in achieving its objectives. He highlighted 5 specific themes. The first and foremost is diplomacy is the first theme. Second is he said that United States is back in the unilateral versus multilateral approach, and he's joined WHO, United Nations, Paris Accord, and as well as the Human Rights Council. The third that he mentioned is, his focus is going to be helping the world to solve hunger and other problems, and he committed $130 billion towards that specific effect, and thanks to us, the U.S. taxpayers, will be funding that. He has also committed, $10 billion towards COVID, and I think another $15 billion towards COVID vaccines to the world, and $10 billion towards the developmental needs of the nations. So I think it was a good speech for him to say that, after the botched Afghan exit, he says, I'm here to help the world.
Xi Jinping, the Chinese leader, issued a declaration pledging to fight COVID, tackle challenges together, uphold multilateralism, strengthen the role of UN, and work for the common future of the current and future. Iranian president, in his address, attacks the United States and says America is always at war. Sanctions are the US's new way of war with the world. Your thoughts on Xi's and the Iranian president's speech, sir?
Xi's are great words as far as the actions are concerned, which is completely contravenous to the speech that he is making to United Nations. He's probably threatening every nation around the world. Either comply with me, or if you don't comply with me, I'll force my way. So it's all great speech by Mr. Xi Jinping. As far as Iran is concerned, you can only smile and laugh as to what United States has done. It has its leg up in arms. It has its it has its head above the shoulders, and it's making a case by marking at both Biden and Trump, which is to say, hey, you guys are saying, who are you guys to say make America great or make America lost? You have no business to do, and your actions don't depict. So all this is a reflection of how bad and how far back we have gone since the days of 2020 and 2019. We are today a laughingstock. United States is today a laughingstock amongst the world.
House Democrats pushed through a short-term funding measure tying debt suspension to disaster aid and funding for Afghan refugee settlements. Progressives successfully removed the $1 billion plus Iron Dome defense spending for Israel from the government funding measure. This is the first time I'm seeing something that was always assumed to happen being blocked by the progressives. I don't know I don't know what to say. This is a purely defensive measure as far as I can see. Your thoughts, Sridharji?
My thoughts are it is a reflection of the growing power of the various advocacy groups which have helped Biden and the Democratic Party in the elections. The policies are being shaped by these groups. Doesn't matter whether it relates to Palestinian aid, doesn't matter whether it relates to pullback from wars, doesn't matter lifting restrictions, doesn't matter the anti-Israel policy, doesn't matter whether it is the social welfare programs. It depends on which advocacy group you belongs to. They are all broadly classified under the what you call as the progressives or the House Freedom Caucus. It is very strange and astonishing that they had their way, that the $1 billion, which is for the purpose of this the Iron Dome, which basically prevents the rockets that are coming and falling into the Israeli civilian territories. It has been taken out. The bill has gone in, and it has attached. It has got two attachments. One is it has got relief funding, and it has got Afghan refugee funding. So, besides these $1 billion, it puts Republicans in a very interesting position, which is to say, either you fund this or you don't. So Republicans are going to turn around and basically say, no, we will fund this, but take this Iranian stuff, bring back the Israeli stuff, and then we'll fund. Or take all the three things off the agenda and just get the limits up. Now, McConnell has gone on record, which is to say debt ceiling suspension is not his responsibility, and it is the responsibility of the Democrats. So this sets the context for a very interesting Senate vote.
As the border crisis worsens, Kamala Harris blames the border agents and Haitian illegal immigrants steal a bus and drive away. This part of the news has not been covered by MSM. CNN keeps saying as if it is a fault of the border patrol agents that this problem is happening. What I don't know which world the Democrats are living in. This is not a water tap. Illegal immigration, opening the doors without checking, opening the borders without checking for who's coming and who's not coming. It's not a tap of water tap that you can turn on and then after a few come in, then you close it. It does not work that way. I'm sure Ms. Kamala Harris, who used to be the Attorney General of the state of California, knows this, and if she doesn't, I mean, then I don't know what to say. I mean, we have elected basically dummies. Sridharji, I'm really aghast. Why is it not surprising that now droves and droves of people are trying to enter the U.S.?
Well, there's no surprise. Open border policy has been the stated position of some of the advocacy groups. Again, Mr. Bernie Sanders has been very vocal on this. So you can see the open border policy was enacted. Stay in Mexico has been removed. ICE, that is Immigration and Control Enforcement Officers, have been removed. The border people who are crossing the border has been transported by planes and buses. They have stated very clearly there is no COVID mandates for them. And the answer that's given by Mr. Biden administration is they are not here to stay forever, so therefore they are not subject to mandate. Oh my God, Mr. Biden, they're here to stay. They did not come here to be your temporary transit passengers. They came here to stay. As you say, you are aghast, the world is aghast, and we are aghast, except for, of course, the Democrats and the progressives.
So you should take a look at viewers. You should take a look at the progressives website. Who is the whip? Who is the chair? And who are all the boosters? Rah rah rah. Who are the cheerleaders? And you will get an idea. And it's mind-boggling. That's all I can tell you. Fresh Tea Party protests that were absent in the recent past is back over masks and mandates. U.S. active COVID cases rise to 9.7 million. Vaccinated at least one dose has gone up to 212 million, and the fully vaccinated has gone up to 181 million. Still some distance to go for fully vaccinated. I'm, of course, not counting the children, which might be about 20 to 30% of this population. Sridharji, your thoughts on how well the US is covering its vaccination strategy?
US is clearly the vaccination strategy has faltered. It has tapered off. It's around 60% in terms of the fully vaccinated at 181 million. And it has slowed considerably. By now, we should be close to about 70%. And we were promised by November 100% of the eligible universe would be vaccinated. That's one. Number two is this has been completely downplayed. I repeat, downplayed. 9.7 million active cases in the United States. That's almost, you can add, we have 300 million people, of which 10 million people are active cases. And nobody talks about it because Mr. Biden is the president. Remember, Mr. Biden came to power, which is to say, I'm here to, put the vaccines, bring this thing down, blah, blah, blah. Just two states. California is around 2.1 million active cases. Texas has gone past 1 million. And, Florida has gone past 1 million. But in Florida and Texas, they were normal. They are denying the Floridans the monoclonal treatment, as well as, all this generous distribution of these illegals coming into the country, going into these places, many of these places. Though they blame the Floridans and the Texans for the mask issue, but the numbers are an astounding situation of another failure on the part of the Biden administration, but they would not want to accept it.
And Biden claims that he's back and reestablishing connections with the global community, EU leaders, and others. He wants to think different. Multilateral EU meeting on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly, including with France, cancelled by the administration due to scheduling issues. Sridharji, Biden says he's back. Where did he go, sir?
Biden is back because he's back in power. For 4 years, he was out of power. So he was vice president prior. So he said, there was a vacuum. Now my leadership is back, or the Democratic leadership is back. I'm re-engaged with the world. And so therefore, I now have strategic partnership. EU says, I don't think so. You are another manifestation of President Trump. So you have your own rules. So clearly he is not back. In his delusional mind, he is back, but he is not. And to make things worse, is cancel that meeting on the sidelines due to scheduling issues. The people said, okay, you're canceling, no problem. Goodbye, Mr. Biden.
And India protests the exclusion of its vaccines under the new United Kingdom rules. Modi and Macron discuss cooperation in the Indo-Pacific region and on Afghanistan crisis in a telephonic conversation. India's envoy to the United States, Taranjit Singh Sandhu, holds positive hopes for Modi-Biden meeting and bilateral ties. So I think Prime Minister Modi is either headed on his way to New York or he's already here, sir. Your
Yes.
thoughts? Go ahead, sir.
No, sorry, complete the sentence. Sorry, sir.
No, I was just saying that I think he's already on his way, or he should be here any day now.
I think he's left. He's probably arrived in New York as we speak to address the United Nations General Assembly, and then followed by his visit to Washington, D.C. for in-person Quad meetings. There seems to be a very positive disposition from at least the Indian diplomatic diaspora around defense, around healthcare, around the climate accord. These are the three specific areas. There seems to be much more positive disposition in terms of the US-India dialogue. But let's just wait and see. I don't share the same enthusiasm. Notably, on the back heels of India saying that it will not be buying Pfizer, it will not be buying Moderna. It has enough capacity, and its domestic producers have scaled up their efforts, and India is well on its way towards vaccinating 1 billion people. So it will not be buying those vaccines. So it puts a very interesting spin. While you have this US, UK Australia discussions, clearly India is having its own set of discussions with smaller nations, and most notably the call with Macron before Mr. Modi boarded the plane is a very kind of a significant event, and that sets the stage for what is to come. I've also heard rumors that Madam Harris is supposed to meet with Mr. Modi. I don't know whether she's meeting him in Washington D.C. or whether she's meeting him in United Nations. What I've heard is United Nations. Let's see.
And Australia says trade pact would benefit the EU in an Indo-Pacific amid a submarine fallout. South Korean President Moon Jae-in calls for end of Korean War. That's interesting. Sridharji, your thoughts on these two, the South Asian
Well,
theater?
yeah, it's very interesting, sir. We're talking about Quad, right? So it's a Quad in person. So Australia says to EU, by having an accord with me, it paves the way for a very good, Indo-Pacific access and partnership. EU talks to India and says that it sees its Indo-Pacific strategy built on India. Then Mr. Macron speaks with Mr. Modi, and one of the items discussed is Indo-Pacific as well as Afghanistan. So it looks like various countries are lining up, including Australia and India, to be the allies in this new emerging order where United States is left out, but there are other countries which are willing to risk and willing to put, if I have to use the word, boots on ground to protect their respective regions.
And with that, today's Daily Global Insights come to a close. Please do share this video amongst your family and friends. If you have not subscribed to us, please subscribe to our channel and consider joining our membership. Thanks for listening. And Sridharji, namaskar. We'll be back again tomorrow.
Thank you. Namaskar. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you all on Thursday.